Hello guys, this is Avcoor and I'm continuing my series on classes. We got four more to go, and this one is important to me as I'm a big fan of warriors. Warriors are your typical frontline melee class. They offer a lot of benefits, but the thing about this class that I want to stress when we get into talking about it is they need a little more in order to stand out amongst themselves. So what am I saying? Uh, let's compare some warriors. Let's go to let me see a warrior. Let's go to this guy. And you would say like with the A stat and attack, he would be all right, serviceable, but he is not. This class is highly reliant on their stats. In fact, they need a larger combination of stats in order to perform their job function well. BHP A attack is actually below average, with B defense is not good. The A in concentration is really awesome for this guy, but let's go to a mid-level warrior and you'll see the difference. So he's got A attack, A HP, A in defense, and B in concentration. So why do I say this guy's better? Because he's got a higher range of stats. Excuse me. The defensive stats of a warrior is important, not as much as a tank, but darn near close. So they need to have higher stats in their defense and magic defense, or having a significant level of HP. So let's go to the higher end warriors like Charlotte. Everybody talks about Charlotte and her act again ability, but there's more things that make her great. And her stat line is absolutely superb. She has two S stats and two A stats. And she has a C stat in magic defense. It could be better, but because of her offensive potential, is so explosive. This is more than required. This makes her like incredible. It's hard to argue that she's not the best character in the game. Sigurd is actually a solid character. And it goes to show you the stats that warriors need to thrive. They need high HP, high attack, high defense, high concentration, and solid to above average magic defense because they actually engage characters close range, and sometimes you'll find yourself attacking into magical units or using them as pseudo tanks to bait out magical units, and they will take significant damage, but they can perform this job function well if you position them properly. So these stats are all in high demand. Concentration is a consideration as they would love to crit since their damage output is so high. So when you look at this class, another thing that will set average warriors apart from non-average warriors is their unique passives. And you want their unique passives to increase damage or increase the frequency of attacks. That way they can do the job that you're asking them to do, which is duel. And duel in this definition is single target engagement without any assistance. And that's what you want this class to do. So we'll move over and go into the warrior section, and I'll talk about certain warriors that are better than other warriors and equipments that you will need. So we'll go ahead and switch. And as you can tell, warriors have at least four SSR units and three, I would say four SR units because Sakin is actually a SSR, and R unit. He goes through all three levels, all three stages. So they have a good bit of variety. We have a green warrior in Capet. We have a blue warrior in Charlotte. Hess is what you do when you're on a budget. So he's a green warrior. Peacock is a dark warrior. Sigurd is a red warrior. William is unique because he's a light warrior, so take that in consideration. And Sailrise is actually blue, and Sakin is actually green. So you actually have all five colors here. but we'll go into certain specific warriors in their functions and how some are better than others. So we'll actually talk about a couple. We'll go through William real quick. As you can see, William's PvP, PvE, and PvE prospects are really low, but he's solid for what he does. The damage of the active attacks are increased by a certain percent. When attacked while at full HP, launch a preemptive strike. Preemptive strike is something that I want to talk about that certain warriors get and a lot of warriors have in their kit. It's really important because it allows you to attack first. So sometimes in advanced gameplay, you're going to sack your warrior in order to keep the tank alive, which I'll talk about in a separate video. So preemptive strike is really important. So don't overlook this character as he has certain mechanics that allow him to function well. So let's go to Rise. Her PvE prospects are even lower, but she is a solid character. You increase your physical attack by a certain percentage, and after active attack, deal fixed damage. That's pretty good, but it's not amazing. And you're getting to see what is separating these guys from the top tier warriors that we're going to describe at the second. Or Irene. Irene's pretty bad. I mean, if you need a warrior, no, she's pretty bad. Notice that Sakin's PV prospects are really good because you can just farm him up to 9 without any real investment, just play the game. But notice that every warrior in their kit should have a way to increase their damage output because they are highly reliant on dealing damage. They don't have many support skills. So you got to keep that in mind that they are not big helpers to the team. There's some warriors that can do that, but not many. They're not really team players. The engine of your team supports their damage output function, so keep that in mind. At the active attack of hero's remaining HP is equal or higher than the target's HP, you launch an additional attack, and this is what you want for your warriors to do. You want them to increase their attack, and you want them to attack more than once. So this is a demonstration on how warriors function in his set kit. I could go over skills, but I'll take too long. And we have Peacock. Peacock is the starting of our SSR warriors. So you'll see there are certain things that are a little different. First of all, she relies on crit. It gets targets with debuffs, which seems difficult at first, but there are characters that actually support her skill set. But you actually have to tailor a team around her, and not many people are willing to do that. And I can understand that. But after dealing critical strike with an active attack, you restore your own HP. And this is another function of advanced warriors as opposed to just generic warriors in this class. They're able to have ways to recover HP, and that is so important as you're expecting them to fight by themselves and to dual targets and kill them. So this is where we're getting to the better aspects of warriors and what they do. We'll go into Capet. Capet's the free warrior that since I started the game that I didn't get. I'm so sad. She's kind of like an experimentation on the warrior concept. 75% of your physical attack is added to your magic attack. Obtain a session at the end of the action. Gain your attack and critical chance. Notice that all warriors self-buff themselves based on certain parameters. But the thing that separates Capet for the last two we're going to talk about is her damage output is not as high. And her maneuverability is solid, but not as good. So we'll talk about the best warrior. We'll save her for last. We know who she is. Seghart is a great mention because he has everything he needs in order to function at the maximum capacity of what a warrior is trying to do. Albeit he has a couple of weaknesses, but those are easily mitigated by a healer. So you increase your damage, which you want warriors to do when your HP is above a certain threshold. You launch the additional attack, the same thing Sakin does. When at full HP during the active attack, launch a combo attack at the same target that deals so many points of damage. It's an amazing kit, and his pass is and his where's it at? After using the active tap, recover 30% HP from your damage. And these are kind of some of the mechanics that make him good. And we'll talk about Charlotte last, as she is the best warrior in the game, probably the best unit in the game. Gain Sword Spirit after dealing damage. At the end of action, when Sword Spirit has 2 stats, consume them and gain the ability to move 5 tiles and act again. This effect can activate every 4 to 3 to 2 turns. Increase all stats by a certain percentage. That's really stupid. And once again, you want your warriors to self-buff themselves to increase their damage output so they can function in battle. And she does all those things. The only thing she doesn't have is like a way to increase her own healing ability. But her ability to increase her movement and to act again gets past that, as you're trying to get her to kill a couple of things and then die, so it doesn't really matter. It's really weird that they would make her this strong, but she's an epitome of what a warrior is supposed to do. And I want to talk about Immortal Sword for a second, which is one of the things that allows her to get past her ability not to vamp HP. Upon reaching 0 HP, cheat death and recover 5 HP, then inflict slow on all enemies within 2 tiles. That's amazing. Because you're asking your warrior to die. I'll talk about this in later videos. Strategic battles that certain characters in high level content, they're gonna have to die, and warrior is one of those classes that in hard battles you want to sack them before the tank or the healer. So keep that in mind with this class, that it does its job and it does its job very well, but it's a limited job. Excuse me. But if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button, and I'll get back to you. Have a great one, and bye.